Hey.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tesla Life, episode 45 for March 21st, 2018. My name is Russell Frost. I am your troop leader, I guess. So let me introduce the Eagle Scouts that I am lucky enough to have with me this evening on this exciting Tesla journey. Our man in Canada, he is the only one who's mastered the lower third, Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Is that the three-finger salute for the Eagle Scouts? I don't know.
I'm going to stay away from any sort of sign language here because it's going to, you know what I mean?
And breaking news tonight, we have just heard a few moments ago that the Model 3 will now be available in Canada. So the thousands of Canadians that are waiting for this car will soon have their configuration emails flowing across the border. So we're just waiting for this to happen.
Wow! Did you just jump straight into the news?
I
get that off your chest.
I was about to explode, Tony. I had to release it.
I can't blame you. You know what I mean? Like, in a way, you guys are always the redheaded stepchild. You guys get stuff last. It's more expensive. So you know what?
We'll still pay more, but we're getting it soon.
Yeah. That's our show tonight, folks. Canada gets the Model 3. Thank you. Hey to everybody in the chat room. I'm going to say hey up front. I'm also going to say if you have any interest in the whole autonomous law thing, do check back with us on What Drives Us starting at 6 p.m. Pacific. We'll have Jim McPherson, who is an attorney and an AV law expert, and those of us that you see here probably, and we will be discussing the Uber incident in Arizona. So a little plug for another show, and then we'll get on to introducing the guy who looks kind of confused. Maybe he doesn't have a drink yet. I don't know. Mr. Tony Schaefer.
Yes, I'm very confused. I'm like opening links and trying to get to the news, and stupid websites automatically play music, and I'm like, so it's just one of those days. And you are correct. I simply have my water bottle here. This is one of these things where you buy the bottle, I guess you buy the water, and you actually buy the water bottle. So yeah, so I just keep refilling this.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. And the other gentleman who doesn't look confused, but he's definitely doing something. I don't know what's going on at the Fusco house, but Dr. Evan Fusco.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I was muting the mic because my printer was making noise. So
no, that's okay.
I was trying to keep the peace on the noisy background. But I may not look confused, but I really am. So don't be fooled.
If it makes you feel any better, you definitely look confused.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I want to be congruent.
There we go. Hey, you just want to fit in. You just want to fit in. So we have a big show. We have lots of news. And unsurprisingly, it's going to start off with Mr. Mark Coughlin. Something about brakes. I'm not really sure how ugly this is going to get.
Just last week, we reported about a Model 3 running on Laguna Seca racetrack. And they took it out for about 9 or 10 laps. And lo and behold, when they brought the car home from track day, apparently it was starting to make some noise. So they popped the wheel off here. Matt Crowley did, who had taken the car out, and popped out a brake pad. And look what he got to see.
Oh,
that's 9 laps on a racetrack with stock brakes, and they are gone. There is nothing left. So obviously Matt is not a race car driver, but man, he's going to be buying a lot of shoes if he does that. So that's something to keep in mind for you weekend warriors with your Model 3. Make sure that you are, if you're going to be running track, maybe you should put some track brake shoes on that car.
Right, because, don't use the stock brakes.
You are definitely going to need them. Obviously, Matt wasn't doing a lot of regen braking. He was using the pedal hard.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. We do see people running on the track here and there as the Model 3 start to roll out. And it's something to keep in mind that those brake pads are not made for racing.
Now, are you insinuating the Laguna Seca Raceway is not a hypermiling track?
Apparently not. There was some confusion to that earlier, but I think the brake pad picture really speaks for itself.
Did he look at the other pads just to see if they were? I mean, I know one wouldn't be just, but I just equal wear on all four corners.
I doubt it was equal. This is probably the worst case one, and that's what he took the picture of. But there weren't additional pictures of the other brake pads. He does have a video that we've linked inside the notes, and if you want to watch that, you certainly can. But yeah, this certainly tells the tale right here.
So, any ideas? Is this a standard size brand type of pad that you can go and get easily replaced, or is this some proprietary OEM Elon Musk stamped thing that there is going to cost a fortune to replace and is a softer compounds than normal or something? Any idea on that?
It's a software brake pad, actually. So it gets regenerated over the air update.
I think they get
that's how it
OTA
fixes
updates.
it. But no, I was going to ask you that, Evan. With your Model S or X, have you replaced a pad yet?
No, not even.
Yeah,
so it's a question is whether these things are standard or not. I got no clue.
So it looks tiny.
Yeah, I mean, it looks tiny, and there's regen on this. So, I mean, this is clearly like all gas, all brake, all gas, all brake, right?
Right.
Yeah, which makes sense. You're on a racetrack, man.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're slamming into the brakes to avoid going off the corner.
So
and he probably even turns regen down to minimum on the race. I mean, you don't want that screwing with you when you're driving. So, typically on a track, you would turn that down and use the mechanical brakes as your primary slowing.
So this is only the after picture. We don't know what the brakes look like before. So if any of our viewers get a new Model 3, do us a favor, take the brakes apart, take a picture of them, and then hopefully put them back together.
And then don't sue us because you can't put it back together.
Correct. But thank you for the picture.
I got nothing. I just is anybody? I mean, so this is okay. This is cool. They was racing, and you expect to just wear out parts in a day,
right?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what does it do to if you were in a Camry?
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's what I'm like. I'm kind of like is. Obviously, the brakes aren't engineered for Laguna Seca,
right?
But wow, I'm blown away that he wore out a set of brakes in 9 laps.
So I have only a couple like tangential thoughts that I have no idea if they're related or not. One issue with the S and X is that there's no transmission, so there's no parking pawl that holds the car in place when you put it in park, right? So when you put the car an S or X in park, there's a miniature brake caliper on each wheel that locks down in place. If you happen to have been like driving in the rain and you park your car in a dry garage overnight and then you go back out in the morning, sometimes those little brake pads actually lock up and kind of freeze onto the disc. And when you back out the car, one of them won't have released completely, and it'll like catch it and pop. There's a audible bang as it releases, and the car kind of surges as it moves and it breaks loose. And I just wondered if that's part of the reason I was asking if it was an OEM pad that they had custom made, if that's partly to avoid that type of thing. But that obviously wasn't the parking brake pad. That was
that was the regular brake pad.
I don't know if they would. I don't know why they would use anything that wasn't standard on there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody in the chat is saying, this is normal. You take stock brakes and you drive it, on the raceway for 9 laps with a lot of heavy braking. Yeah, you're going to chew through your brakes. That's why they make racing brakes.
Okay. There you go. That's why those red Brembo brakes are so popular, right? Because They'll last through 9 laps.
But if you do it in a Tesla Model 3, you get 77,000 views.
Bingo.
Touche, Tony. No argument there.
It's funny because anyone with an EV or a hybrid car that they know that brakes last forever. They absolutely last forever. I've got a 2012 Volt, and I still have not done a brake job on that car. So
2012. Yeah, well, I'm on a 2004 Prius that the brakes are not even 50% worn.
There you go. So like it's the regenerative braking of these cars allows you to eliminate a lot of the physical braking.
Yeah.
Well, that's a feature that maybe Tesla Model 3 owners are not going to be happy about. Here's a feature. Mark has a new feature that Tesla's adding on the Model 3 that they will be excited about, maybe. Auto-dimming headlights, maybe?
The headlights, yes. There was a post that Elon had sent out after getting a question on his his Twitter feed, because that's the only way he communicates with everybody is through Twitter. And the question that came out to him was whether or not the Model 3 will get auto-dimming high beams as a software update in the Model 3. The user, Jeffrey Wolf, indicated that he was kind of surprised they weren't currently available. So Elon, in Elon fashion, responded in a wordy reply, which I will just share with the audience right now.
Do we have time to read it all?
We might. So you can see his 3-letter reply. Yes.
God, terrible. No punctuation. I mean,
and stop bothering me, damn it. Yeah. So it was a quick and short reply, but that got the point across. So if you're familiar, a lot of cars certainly have auto dimming headlights as they're on opposing traffic. The lights either go on or off of high beam on its own. And Elon says that will be an OTA that the Model 3 will get. So be interesting to see when it does show up. Mm-hmm. We've had a number of different updates that we've been hearing about lately. One of the stories that we'll be doing lately is about AP2, another update. But it'll be good to see that these things. And again, this is the power of the Model 3 and Tesla, that they give that OTA is something that nobody else does, and certainly can pay dividends for them.
Absolutely.
Even as short and succinct as his reply is, it does not say when. just saying.
Does it seem weird though is that like requiring multiple technical hurdles to be overcome to implement?
Does the X already have it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I would think if the sensors, cameras, and things are right there, it could just be, if it's code, they could just repurpose code.
Yeah, I would think.
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting to explore this stuff and what sensors and what mechanical things Tesla's put into the vehicles, so that later on they can add software that enables those features, or enables those features to do different things. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, for all we know, they're using some other sensor, just, maybe one of the cameras or something. Yeah,
the sensor pack or camera may not be the same that is in the other car. So different pulls from the software may be required.
Yeah.
It's one of the most fascinating things for me about Tesla, and how Tesla hasn't pushed the market in general yet. Like, why no one else has decided that OTA has value, or it gets customers excited. You know what I mean? And Tesla owners, and rightfully so, Tesla owners get really excited because, hey, here's a new feature. You can go faster. You can go farther. Now you have auto-dimming headlights. Now you have automatic wipers. Now you have this and that. No one does this.
Right. And but no one else has the underlying equipment or platform, or, and we've talked about this, because in almost every other car, it seems one electronic control unit is completely isolated and separate from another. But Tesla allows them to push down an update that can go out to individual ECUs and do an update, or or whatever. It's just a completely different platform. Every other car manufacturer would have to completely reimagine their platform in order to do this. But Tesla did it right from the beginning.
And it may be because, of course, they're coming from a software background.
Right.
And it just makes sense to them. That it's second nature to be able to push out an update to your users over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what we got next. I think Evan, and this is a fascinating. Again, I'm sorry, maybe I'm just fascinated tonight. Evan has an update on the Tesla Semi that was sent out to St. Louis.
So the story broke last week. Did you guys? I wasn't on. Yes. Did you guys cover that? So
we did.
It's spotted at the Anheuser-Busch factory which is up kind of in the northeast part of the state of Missouri, for those of you that don't have the map memorized. And it was the semi was then spotted on I-44 closer to where I live in Springfield area, which had traveled southwest. And I thought that was interesting. I'd actually heard about it from a friend of mine who had heard that it was at the supercharger in Springfield, which I suspect it had been at some point, and ran up there to try to catch a glimpse of it. Ultimately, it was gone or hadn't been there or something when he got there. But our discussion kind of was around, why was it on I-44? Because if it was heading back to Fremont, it would have stayed on I-70 and gone, due west back to California. So ultimately, many people spotted it, and there's our plethora of images out there on the internet, one of which we're looking at here, that showed it possibly broken down, reportedly broken down, maybe broken down.
Maybe just stop for a minute.
Well, so I couldn't actually come up with a link, but I actually saw a story later on that Tesla said no, it wasn't broken down. We were making some software adjustments, and as part of the piloting of this prototype and things. So who knows? But in any case, it got going again on its own. Whatever they did and whatever happened.
Okay, guys, you guys are way overthinking this.
Oh,
I mean, okay, so the Tesla semis at the Anheuser-Busch brewery. The guys take off. They're and about a half an hour in, they realize not only are they on the wrong interstate, but they're way too drunk to keep driving anyway. They pull over, they sleep it off, and then they get back on their way.
I thought you were going to say it was a pee break.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was going for. Yeah,
well, that's why you got the big thing in the back,
Yeah.
So, and in that case, then we later learned that the semi showed up in Dallas at the PepsiCo plant, who is another early reserver of Tesla semis. So that explains the I-44 route, because that would be the best way to get there, especially if you wanted to supercharge on the way. And I think there's probably not anything more exciting than that about it, but it came near my house while I was in Florida.
While you were away, it came near your house.
While you were having fun.
Yeah.
So, do you guys see the pictures from Pepsi?
Yeah, Pepsi is not Pepsi officially, but there have been some pictures.
One of the guys at Pepsi took a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I wanted to say while Tony's looking for those pictures, I'm guessing, is that one of the things that we sort of speculated about when we reported about this truck being in St. Louis was, how did it get there? Nobody really knows. Nobody really knew. Did it just appear? Did they drag it there? And clearly, however it got there, they're driving it back.
Yeah.
Which, for a prototype, I mean, obviously you need to put these things through their moves and all that. That's cool. Where do you think they're charging this thing?
They're going to the normal superchargers.
Yeah. So there were pictures in St. Louis at the St. Charles supercharger of it.
And that thing was plugged in.
It was plugged in.
And how much? I mean, like, what is that? Is that filling a pool with a garden hose? You know what I mean?
Well, and I'm curious because I still haven't seen any pictures of anybody with good photos of how it's charging. Because I'm curious if there are maybe 2 onboard charging outlets, and so it can like double dose. But I don't know. Nobody's taking a photo of that. But that's what if I were making a prototype and had to charge a supercharger or something that big, that's what I would do.
The pictures that we had last week at St. Charles showed that the truck was backed up and charging.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe they have an extension cable ready because, of course, the charger cables aren't all that long. Possibly if it had to stretch up closer to the middle of the vehicle, they would need some sort of an extension. But there's Tony's pics.
There's the pics from Pepsi, or at least a small version of them.
So I've got it. Yeah, you can't I've kind of got a zoomed version here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tony. Well, then let me get off here. Go, Tony.
So yeah, they're kind of pixelated at this point, but apparently this is at the Pepsi plant, and
that's when they realized that the truck would not fit in the front door. You can see this. It's like, don't you dare ruin that fairing.
Right. Yeah. Oopsies. So here is, I guess, the battery pack in the back.
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, the batteries are there at the bottom, probably.
Yeah. So this apparently is a computer where they're mining bitcoins while
yes.
Could be.
This side is just the flat underneath.
Yeah.
As you can see, we'll come down here. He said in the article that every axle, every wheel had an individual motor. So apparently this is an attempt to try to get a
motor shot.
Yeah, trying to get a picture of that. Another picture of the flat underneath.
Of people's shoes.
Yes. Shoes.
Nice heels.
Yeah.
Yes. In the same picture, except now she's got her foot up.
Now she's posing.
Yeah. Just
looks like a greasy truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greasy truck stuff.
Looks like the guy needs
there.
iPhone camera.
The Tesla gearbox. So there you go. There's your part number and your serial number.
So you can scan this right now from this photo and order your own gearbox.
Right.
Yes,
right.
If you need one, right? And then
that is interesting. Is that a
P11-015? I don't really know what this is.
And it faces forward.
Yeah, and I think it says FUD on it with an arrow pointing this way.
Well, orange cables usually mean
high
voltage. So
it's bite me.
No, and we saw those orange cables in the other photo farther back.
So these are the pictures. I just had it dramatically zoomed in.
Nice.
Very good. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, speaking of Tony.
Oh dear.
Mark's got a story.
Speaking of Tony, Mark's got a story.
One of Tony's favorite places.
I'm still presenting too.
Are you?
I am.
Just smile and look good then, for God's sakes. Thank you.
So we're talking about
we're talking about a Swiss story.
Yes. So what happened here recently is that the Swiss police happened to buy 7 Model S's for their fleet to replace some diesel vehicles. So this, of course, is a picture of the Ontario Provincial Police Model X that was at the Ontario or the Canadian Auto Show just recently. And Ontario has not bought, before the Ontario taxpayers get in a tizzy, they have not bought one. This was just stickered up for the show. But it was interesting. There was a ton of media about this vehicle and wondering if, the Swiss picked up on this story a little bit. And they decided to buy 7 of them and replace a number of gas vehicles that they have. So they're going to apparently deck them out fully in police garb. But the real question is this thing going to be, is this just a high-speed pursuit vehicle, or is this going to be for actually picking up criminals and putting them in the plush back seats of the Model X? Yeah. So that's the question. And of course, are the gull wing doors going to be replaced by gull wing doors? So,
Yes.
Oh, you had to go there. Yeah, I mean, can you put like like shoving suspects in the back, right?
I just can't see that happening. Like I just, someone gets in there and throws up all over the place.
Guys,
Like, you just cannot see that happening.
Guys, this is the Swiss. They'll just open the door and they'll say, "Okay, you got to get in now," and they'll say, "Okay," and they'll come in and they'll sit down. Yeah.
So you're saying that the Swiss are just too polite. They're beyond polite of Canadians, and they will just happily get in the back of the car and drive away to the jail.
No, of course I'm just kidding there, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
No.
My interactions with Swiss folks have been actually pretty tough. They're not like compliant in any way.
Right. They're not like the Canadian police where they get rated on Yelp as for how they were handled on the way to the police station.
Rate your police officer.
Oh yeah, well, you better be nice to me, or I'll give you a bad.
I'll give you a bad rating. Yeah.
Did you guys see SNL Saturday night? The Canadian bit on that. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
The Canadian Me Too. If you guys haven't seen it, you need to Saturday Night Live Me Too. Yeah, and Arcade Fire is even. Yeah.
Nice. I have not, but Mark has a story about heated seats.
Yes, indeed.
Speaking of OTAs.
Speaking of OTA, exactly. Tesla just released an update, as they have been, and what comes along with it. But the heated back seats appear on the Model 3 instantaneously. Again,
wow.
The heaters are in the car already. No one knew they were there for sure. But the over-the-air update comes out, and now there was this new little ability to click on the back seats and turn the heat on or off to those seats from the central touchscreen.
Yep.
And another thing, if you notice, there is a silhouette of a person in the airflow area, so you can see a head silhouette. And what that is there for is to let people know that where the air blade is going to adjust the exhaust. So, and what, if it's going to hit you in the face or the eyes or, exactly.
Wow.
That's
so
cool.
They added that silhouette as another part of the update.
That's so cool. And so to give fair credit though, Yo-Yo had predicted that there were heated seats there based on some of his findings for the wiring and things. In that back seat. So I'll give him credit for that awareness ahead of time.
I did want to jump in with one other thing, Mark. You said no one knows. I guarantee you those German people, the German companies that bought that Model 3, they knew there were seat heaters in the back. They weren't talking about it.
Right.
Okay. It's on an inventory list somewhere. Like,
maybe that is the case. And another thing you'll notice in the photo of the seats, the red seats, there seems to be like 3 bars in the seat portion, and I believe those bars light up as you press it over and over again. So you get a low, a medium, and a high by just pressing the seat over and over.
Yep, that makes good sense.
That would be the way to do it.
Right. So pretty cool. But the downfall, possibly, of this
downfall
is how do the back seat people do it themselves? They can't.
No.
Shut up back there or I'll turn the heat on.
Right. Oh, I like that. Kids, I'm turning the heat on.
They can't in the Model X either. It's the same setup. It works the same way.
It's all through a central control. No one else has access except for the people in the front.
If they piss you off, you turn off their seat.
You turn off their seat. Yes. And that's coming from experience, right, Evan?
Absolutely. You've got 3 kids.
Absolutely.
It's a disciplinary tool.
Evans tortured his children in a $100,000 car
with a cold butt.
Yeah, my butt's really cold.
Yeah, and if your Aiju doesn't pick up, it's going to be more than your butt.
Nice. Well,
So, you know what? One thing that just occurred to me on that, and I don't know that there was an answer or anything, but I would like to think that Tesla's the company to think it through. Can you turn on the heated seats if there's no one in the back seat?
I would think so.
I would think so. I don't know. I mean,
I'm just kind of wondering if that would be any sort of concern or
I can't remember how it is in the X. In my S, the heated seats don't get hot until somebody's sitting in it.
Really?
Yep.
Even if it's turned on. So the pressure sensor in the seat, presumably maybe for airbags or something else, or just there for that.
Well, maybe Evan's being metaphysical. If the seat gets warm and no one's in it, does anybody know?
I'm just saying the leather's still cold when my tushy hits it, even if the heater thing's on.
Oh, okay.
So you try to preheat it and check it out.
Is there any heat at all, Evan, that comes out of it before you sit there? Nothing.
Nope.
Well, I mean, that's really nice, and that's the way it should be, right?
Right. And that's exactly why
conserving energy.
Yeah. So we need somebody in a 3 to, heat the back seat and then sit in it, put your hand on it, and see if it's actually warm.
Send it in.
But it would be interesting that it would let you potentially try to turn it on, and maybe even indicate that it's on when it's not really on. You see what I'm saying? That made sense in my head.
They don't want you to let you know that you're stupid.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So Derek says it auto detects the person, but Derek, do me a favor. Are you talking the S, the X, or the 3? And of course, there's a delay. So
of course.
So we're all gonna sit here waiting.
Why don't we charge forward, because this next story is not too long. So if you live in Boulder, Colorado, you said goodbye to the Tesla store in 2011, and that was a sad day because it's gone. Don't get choked up here, but good news, kids. Good news. Let me put that on the screen. Guess who's coming back to
We're
Boulder,
back, baby.
Colorado. There it is.
Do you really think there's anyone in Boulder that would want a Tesla?
Yeah, I can't imagine why. All a bunch of redneck, uneducated. No, wait a minute. Boulder's an amazing town. This will be the 4th Tesla store in Colorado, not counting superchargers. It's interesting. This is going to be a big. They've got 2 acres and a 22,000 square foot building. Tesla's talking about employing 40 people. Sales, service, delivery. Apparently, in the proposal it says 30% of the building dedicated to sales, the other 70% to service. So obviously Tesla is, 2 acres. Tesla is all in Boulder, suffice to say, which is cool. It's good. I like, obviously we like seeing them go in, and we've certainly spoken about needing to expand their service network and their physical presence, because as their ownership base expands, that serves them better. So good for them.
And we have noticed over the past little while that the new service centers that are being announced are certainly getting bigger and bigger. So it seems that every one that rolls out is a new record for number of service bays or size or area taken up. In fact, last week there was a story about a Norwegian service center that was going to be absolutely massive, and we had a few reports of it being like an old truck terminal where they had multiple 60+ bays that were going to be set up. So it just seems that, and certainly over in Norway, it's the biggest European Tesla sales area that there is. So they certainly need it there. But over here, more and more of these are popping up.
And who knows? Maybe some of that space is for Tesla truck. I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
As Tesla expands its product offerings, obviously the idea of having space to put things becomes more important. When all they had was the Roadster, it was no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't help but to wonder if Tesla went to Denver, the city of Denver first, and and before they went to Boulder, because certainly you would maybe only need one big sales service facility. You could do both. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Denver, they have, let's see, there's one in Aspen, one in Lone Tree Park Meadows in Littleton, and one in Cherry Creek. I've got to assume that, I mean, Littleton's not far.
Yeah, I know Littleton. That's like what, 7 o'clock on the Denver dial. So yeah.
So I don't know. That's obviously, I don't know how big those ones are, but certainly they're not going to leave Denver out. But
right.
So is Gusick missing the show tonight because he's interviewing for a job?
No.
Oh no. Our Paul? I don't know about that.
Hey guys, we do have a feedback from Derek. He said that it does auto detect a person in the Model 3.
Oh, right on.
So yeah.
Thank you, whoever you are.
Yep, Derek.
Oh, thank you, Derek. Thank you. Well, Mark's got a story about, this is a story that I think it is, about a Model 3 front grille. Should I start banging my head on the microphone now?
Yeah.
Is that story?
You can certainly begin. Yes. I'm just going to let him go. Just going to let him go.
Yeah, just ignore him. Yes. Oh, arg my eyes.
Yeah, that's about as long as it needs to be on the screen right there.
I just thought it was interesting that this gentleman decided that he needed some sort of a fake grill and placed some sort of decal on the front of his Model 3 with a official looking Tesla logo in the center. But obviously, this is not a Tesla creation.
It's so wrong. Let me count the ways.
Do not buy your Tesla accessories on eBay, kids. Okay? Do not resist the temptation. I like those World War II fighter teeth would be better than this front grill.
Right. Yeah. Some people are trending for good things. Other people are trending for bad decisions.
Even if he hadn't.
No, it's awful.
V thing in there.
It would still just like a big hole.
Quasi acceptable.
I do have to give him credit that it almost looks 3D. So the actual silver piping really looks 3D in the photo.
It may be, for all we know, right?
That's true.
If there's not a closer picture, I
mean, the little specular highlight right there is sort of interesting in that left corner. It almost gives the impression that it might have some.
Can you imagine that someone actually went through the throes of putting actual piping onto it?
Yes, I can tell you. If you're going to do this, I can imagine you do a great many things that would probably horrify me.
Now, of course, with my Model 3 hopefully coming down the line, I've already jumped in and bought my own. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the eBay note to come back with my new purchase.
That's what I was talking. Wait,
where was that? Put that back. That was.
I approve of that.
I don't have the link.
Yeah, you got to screen share it there again.
Okay, we'll just go back and.
Because that was awesome.
And then and then somewhere on the side you need to have like I don't know, like leaves with a circle and a cross through them.
Like Nissan leaves across through.
It almost you see the tongue on the inside. I love the detail. The tongue is even in there, so that's fantastic.
That T isn't on the frunk, is it? They added the Tesla T.
That is
standard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I swear the ones that I've seen locally didn't have that, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember.
That would be the way to go right there.
So if you've got an interesting decal, please send us and let us know. If you have interest in photoshopping on the front of your, and just Photoshop, please do not do this to your Model 3.
But love of God.
Send in a Photoshop of what you think would look best on it or ugliest, and we will definitely post it on our Twitter feed, on our Facebook page. And feel free to follow us there as well. So it's at The Tesla Life on Twitter, and the Facebook feed is The Tesla Life #1. And for goodness sakes, please press that subscribe button in the YouTube channel, and you will get automatic alerts when our show starts, and we would appreciate the follow. So thanks very much.
01010 says, I must ask you a question. And David says Rolling Stone lips would be better.
I like that.
I think we need a dedicated thread for this.
Just Model 3 grills you would get.
Yeah. Model3grills.com. There you go.
I think we just figured out how to pay for the show. Okay. We'll start designing random Model 3 grills, sending them out. Like, how hard is it to do that?
We could do some like web widget where it just shows the face, and you could upload your own picture, and you could position it on the on the grill, and then
we'll mail you the decal.
And then that would be the entire website, except there would just be banner ads and pop-ups all around it.
Oh my!
It's kind of like the go elf yourself, right? From was it Jib Jab? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
I do not know what you're talking about.
Oh my God! Everyone has to go to jibjab.com and elf yourself or any of the different.
Jumped the shark things. About 4 years ago.
No, we don't. Yeah, four.
Come on, it was hilarious at the time.
Let's leave the jib jab out. In fact, as time ticks down, Mark has a story about the Tesla Roadster birthday.
Absolutely. 10th birthday of the Roadster just happened last week. And it's interesting. It all started back in 2008 with some small amount of deliveries, but it picked up steam and was the start of the company that we now love and follow. So congratulations, Tesla, to 10 years. Obviously, the Roadster, this iteration, the first iteration, is not made anymore. But we, of course, have seen the second one and await to see what the new one will have in store for us. But the original, just a shot here, you can see that was kind of a nice shot from the top. And this, of course, was a Lotus body that was they fitted the electrics into a Lotus body that was sold to them as a shell, and then push this car out to and it's interesting. I tried to pull up the number and I couldn't find it specifically. I wasn't even sure the exact number that they made or close to the number. Does anyone on the panel have an idea as to what the total number of first generation Roadsters were?
1,600?
No,
I've seen 2,500. It's not very many.
It wasn't very many, and I think Evan. Wow, I know. I've looked at this too.
Yeah, I have too.
It wasn't that many.
Yeah, so a couple thousand were made, and of course they. Has anyone? Well, Russell, you've done this. You've sat in a Roadster previously, right?
I've actually driven a Roadster.
You've driven a Roadster, so and describe to people who have never sat in a Roadster what it's like to sit in a Roadster.
So, as you might have guessed from watching the show, and maybe you've seen the reviews or not, but you look at me, you look at Tony next to me, you think Russell might be a little bit wider than Tony, and you'd be correct.
And you'd be wrong.
You'd be correct. I'm
He's
a little
lot
bit
wider
than the average bear. So it's 2009. I'm in Palo Alto, and we decided to go by the Tesla store. And of course, I mean, like, the first thing you want to do is you want to jump in there. Well, imagine trying to jump into like an almost human-sized sausage casing. Okay. Which is to say that I managed to get myself in there without any lubricant or without any mechanical help, but it wasn't comfortable.
Could you say the same for getting yourself out?
I didn't have this much problem getting out. In fact, it was just like, whoa, like I could expand or something. You know what I mean? I feel like I was breathing shallow the whole time. And driving the thing was another, like, you wanted to be kind of snug, because that was the first time I'd ever driven a performance electric vehicle. And I peed a little. Okay. I mean, I got on the 101 and I was like, holy shit. You know, I've often described that as like, it's like, okay, here's the keys to the Starship Enterprise. Go ahead, have fun. Mm-hmm. And it was the Roadster it was way different than any kind of electric thing I'd ever driven before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blew my mind in a big way. And yeah, the Lotus Elise is a very, very tiny car. You have to be a small, short person to be comfortable. And I'm not describing anyone, maybe even a CEO of a company who might be making a car based on the Lotus Elise. Okay, I'm done.
So I've also been I'm frantically searching through my photos to try to find
pictures. I have pictures too. Do you want to see me stuffed into that car?
While you guys look for those, Lee Moon, the producer of our theme music,
yes,
come back and let us know that there were 2,450 Roadsters worldwide between 2008 and December of 2012.
Evan takes the prize. Beautiful.
Yeah, Matt says 2,600, so it's somewhere between 2,450 and 2,600. Yeah.
Lee Moon got his stuff per Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, I know. Yeah, and I'm looking at the.
I put a link on our chat too, guys.
Yeah.
So 2,450, 2,500 is right in the ballpark. So it's your first attempt at getting in a Roadster will likely fail, and it's kind of like a USB cable. You know, it's never right the first time.
You got a 50-50 chance, right? You got a 50-50 chance of it going in the first time. Yeah,
totally. Totally.
But so was that the 10th anniversary? Was that like the first one rolled off the line? The first one was delivered. What was that?
2008 was the first one that came. I want to say
related
first
to
delivery.
First rolling off the line for a delivery.
Okay. It does say, and again, Wikipedia, by September 10th, 2008, Tesla had delivered 27 of the cars to customers.
Yeah. 27, eh?
So, man, just a little timestamp marker. It was 9 years ago this month that I reserved my Model S.
Wow.
Dang.
9 years ago, man.
Yeah. And that's interesting, huh? So it'd barely been out when they started taking reservations.
Mm-hmm.
You were definitely an early adopter, Evan. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm madly looking for these pictures. My tubby butt in the because they shouldn't be that hard to find. I know exactly what folder they're in. Of course, I have a few photographs. Again,
right?
For those
Yeah,
of
it
you
says the
who don't know.
professional
Just
photographer.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll go on to the next one, and you will find it as we're going.
Would you please? Thank you so much.
So we were on. We did the Boulder. There has been a. Actually, Russell, you're with the next one with the vehicle, the VINs.
The VINs? Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, well, then I'll get on that story.
Oh, wait.
Because we don't have
time.
Are
we doing they're not doing the Autopilot?
We are definitely doing Autopilot,
okay.
Yes.
We are definitely doing Autopilot, my friend. I don't see that on here. What, Evan, take it away for me.
All right, I'm taking it away. All right, so a recent update, 2018.10.14 was pushed out to Model S and X owners. And while it was initially delivered as a minor update of fixing, errors and bugs, almost instantaneously, drivers of cars equipped with Autopilot 2 and 2.5 noticed that there was a dramatic improvement in the performance of the Autopilot feature, that it was working much better than previously. The ping-ponging within the lanes had gone away, seemed to do a lot better with the lane detection. So there's some disagreement now whether it's better or not than Autopilot 1. finally, but it sounds like it's nearly equivalent to that. So lots of people pretty excited about that push out coming so soon, and obviously hoping that foretells some major improvements coming in the near future for that. So lots of good happy people out there that their autopilot's working better now.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey.
And
Okay.
there was even a couple of videos where people would show. It's kind of dangerous. You're watching people like filming as they're driving. You can tell it's the driver that's doing it. But there was one particular one where they're crossing a very narrow bridge in Washington State.
Right.
And they're going across this bridge, and I guess before the car had given a little bit of a squealing or a squeakly as they were going across a narrow passage like that. And the AP2 update has smoothed that out apparently. So yeah, there's a number of people singing the praises of this new update, and Elon's promise of silky smooth has started to come true.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple of pictures to show you folks.
There we go.
There it is, the Tesla store in Palo Alto, circa 2009. But that's not the picture you want to see. No. You want to see said fat
Big man in a little suit. Big man in a little suit.
And there it is, right there, folks. That's me. Look how comfortable I look.
You look almost comfortable.
Yes, I had to inhale every time I moved the steering wheel.
Yeah, you look like you're holding your breath in that picture.
Was it such a tight fit that when they closed the door, the back popped open?
No, we were talking about battery packs and all of this. I mean, I was there with some other people that were engineers, and it's a long story, but yeah, that's I look how happy I am. I'm in a Tesla Roadster. Yeah. It was mind-blowing to drive and well worth any humiliation.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
Or just
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so there it is. Proof, I guess. Well, speaking of proof, our Fred, Mr. Frederick Lambert at Electrek, published a story this week about Tesla Model 3. Let me read the headline. Quote, Tesla Model 3 production is significantly accelerating based on new VINs. Well, that's quite a statement to make because they registered thousands of new VINs. We're talking almost 5,000 new VINs were registered all at once. So it's kind of a stretch to say that means production's ramped up and these cars are all done. But that's sort of the implication of
it is until you get to the fourth paragraph.
And then,
therefore, the fact that Tesla has registered Model 3 VINs over 15,000 doesn't mean the company has produced nearly as many vehicles.
But if the rate at which Tesla is registering new Model 3 VINs is accelerating, that's a good indication. Well, maybe not so much.
Okay, but
it could be a little bit of both, certainly.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, you have to register the VINs before you manufacture the cars. So it would be nice to believe that there is an expectation on Tesla's side that they're going to be chewing through the VINs faster.
And of course, when we heard at the last earnings call, Elon stating about bringing in that machinery from Germany to help with the automation of the battery packs, that was another push in acceleration of those packs. And we're thinking that's where the bottleneck is currently, that they're not able to push out as many as they want. But again, that's just speculation.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any inside information, and
we don't have any new VIN updates that are higher than our previous posted one. I believe we're at about 9,800 was our newest high score, and that has not been passed this week. So keep an eye out there. If you see any of those new VINs, please forward them along, and we will attach them to our Twitter feed at the Tesla Life, and we will keep on top of that. But right now, we're still under 10,000.
Yeah.
Was it Bloomberg was doing the?
Yeah, they're doing a calculation of what the VIN numbers are based on based on people's input from across the U.S. and soon to be Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, says somebody who's not at all excited.
Exactly.
Spotted Vins here. Let's see, where are we? 321.
Spotted Vins? Is that like some kind of wine or something?
Yeah, they make a pill for that.
Spotted Vins. Yeah. Evan, can you address this medically? My Vins is spotted.
Is it on the same shelf as Spotted Dick at the store?
No, that's exactly what I was thinking.
So they have 5,940 on Bloomberg for spotted Vins and Vins spotted in the wild.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah. Mark, I think you have a story about. Are we doing a follow up on the semi in Dallas?
Well, we're going to do that, but I'm going to jump to one that I kind of missed. My fault.
Please do.
We got announced on the Tesla store online. A 20-inch Model 3 tire has appeared. Now, does anybody want to hazard to guess as to what a 4-pack of these tires and rims would cost you?
Evan?
$10.95.
I'm going to bet $3.25.
$1.
Yeah.
$4,000.
Whoa! You're shitting me.
Nope. $4,000 20-inch sport wheel tire package. But of course, the balancing and installation is free.
Of course.
Then whatever, right?
So those of you that know about the Model 3 pricing currently in US dollars, you can get an upgrade from the 18-inch wheels to get 19-inch sport wheels, which look exactly like this, just an inch smaller. And that is a $1,500 upgrade. And then, of course, you don't get the 18-inch standard tires. You just get the new upgrade. But this number of people have clamoring that they like 20-inch wheels and they look much better on the Model 3. Well, you're going to pay for it because $4,000 is the price tag. You get to keep whatever wheels you have on your Model 3, and you get another set for $4,000.
What? And I bet those tires are not cheap to replace either. Look at the size of the low profile.
The sidewall is almost not there.
Wow! And your every little bump and pothole, you are gonna
you're gonna definitely feel them. Yep.
I did that today, just going over a manhole cover that like they put some new pavement down. I'm talking like maybe this much, and I felt like boom. Oh geez, that's not good.
If you've got the money for the looks, go for it. But man, that's just so impractical.
Yeah. Thank you. It is. No, but it is. It's a look, but it's okay to have a little rubber there too, you know?
Yeah, and I'll just throw up that picture of the semi that we were able to get on our Twitter feed from an Instagram where it was sitting at the Dallas service bay area. So this was the Tesla service center in Dallas. So someone caught it in the back, charging away quietly, trying to blend in and look like a Model S.
Right, yeah. Don't see me in here.
Totally blended. I think the wall is what really hides it.
Big Model X. That's all. Yeah. It's really big Model X.
Nothing but us Model S's back here. No need to look or take pictures.
I'm willing to bet the photographer almost walked right past it because of the wall. Then he got to the other side and said, "Holy cow, there's a semi."
Nice. Well, Mark, I look to you, sir.
After I led the show with the Model 3 coming to Canada, I got nothing left. So I've expended it all. There's nothing left.
Shot it early, and now
it's all over.
Well, then let's do some shout outs and go home. Evan, maybe a referral code?
Yeah, I have one. I want to.
Thank you. Good night.
We're out.
Tony.
I'm of course going to shout out to everyone in the chat, which is David and Matt. Right now, and we know that Lee. I don't know if the participants link in the chat room works because I know there's more people than this. There's Matt and David and 01010 and Bruno. And all these guys, but you know who you are if you're in the chat room. Thanks once again for spending some time with us. Did we come up with a title?
We have not. We have not
yeah,
come
so
up with a title.
we got like 45 seconds. Come up.
Yeah,
with that.
turn to the chat
No-
room.
no
Start
pressure.
thinking about the title.
Yeah. Give us the title for something, please. I'll do a couple of shout outs. So I want to thank Lee Moon for our theme music. He composed, performed, and allows us to use it for free. Thank you, Lee. Mark's already told you where to find us. Search the Tesla Life Show on YouTube. Look for our shiny red logo. Hit subscribe. Super important. Hit subscribe so you're notified when we're on the air. That's it. That's all you'll get from us. We won't ask you for money. Not right now, at least. You know, that's it. So let's see.
And it helps us out. So
and it helps
please
us out.
help
Yeah,
us
it's
out.
actually a huge help. Everybody looks at those subscriber numbers, so the more the better. My thanks to everybody in the chat room, of course.
So I missed Derek, of course, who has been giving some great info. And yeah,
Big
so we
man
got
in
it.
a tiny car.
0 on
Big
0
man
on
in a
0.
tiny
Big
car. There
man
you
in a
go.
tiny car.
What was it? Big hair, tiny car.
No, big
No,
man
big
in a
man.
tiny car.
Okay.
It's a take on oh my god,
Uh,
I completely spaced on his name.
Our binary friend has come up with another one.
Okay. Hey, love you guys, but I'll take this one for the team. Fine. I will take this one. Big man in a tiny car. There you go. That's fine. But someday, you bastards. Know it. Know it. My thanks to Dr. Evan Fusco, Tony Schaefer, and Mark Coughlin for showing up and doing all the hard work while I sat here and did what I do. Thanks to all of you for watching. Tune in next week to find out what is going on in the Tesla life.